And now the Purple Playbook, brought to you by M&T Bank.
This is Purple Playbook. I'm Alex Glaze. We're pushing through the dog days of training camp right now. Joining me on the desk, we got two-time Super Bowl champion Torrey Smith. How we feeling?
Feeling good. Weather's been great. Can't complain.
It's been a little sticky for me.
It was extremely hot a few weeks ago, so everything's relative, right? A few weeks ago, I didn't even want to walk outside, so I'm thankful.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's get right to it because it was a great week out at training camp. Two legends stopped by camp this week. We're talking about Hall of Fame linebacker Ray Lewis and Michael Phelps, the most decorated Olympian of all time. They're two guys that have been to the top of the mountain in their respective sports. And after practice, they shared a message with the team about what it takes to win a championship.
We had two arguably the greatest ever. I would say the greatest ever to do what they do in history. That's pretty rare. And they're standing right next to each other on the same field. And then the words that they shared with the guys were just so spot on. It's all the things that our guys, they know, they believe in. It was once in a lifetime.
Really cool. Got to check out some of that message. The Ravens posted it on their social media. You know, Phelps talking about preparation, Ray speaking about not skipping steps. Torrey, how do you feel about the message that was delivered? I mean, two GOATs talking to the guys.
Yeah, two GOATs, and it's crazy how similar the messages are to what you hear. High performance in sports or whatever, there are no shortcuts. And you're able to see that based on the message that they deliver, by the details, being disciplined, working harder than everyone else, sacrificing. And that's a common theme. And when you talk about this Ravens team, this is a group that has done their part to go and put together a team, but not only put together a team, to go out and make sure that they can get to the next step. When you have GOATs coming in, literally the greatest linebacker of all time, the greatest swimmer of all time, Coach Harbaugh said it's extremely rare. And when you think about what they mean in Baltimore and how they're cheering for you, that definitely pumps you up a little bit more. That access is special. And I remember about every speaker we've had, there's something that you take away from it, even if it's something that you've been doing. It's almost like being a parent. Your parent can tell you one thing over and over and over, you kind of ignore it. And then all of a sudden you hear it by someone else, you're like, wow, this is amazing. And that's kind of how it is with them. It validates everything they've been working for.
When Ray's talking and when Phelps is talking, you kind of want to listen to an
listen.
athlete. But you've been on both sides of this, right? You've received the message, and now, I mean, you're a two-time Super Bowl champion too. You've delivered that message. Just how impactful is it when champions come to speak to teams?
Oh, man, it's huge. I just think the more successful people you're around in any environment, the better it'll be for you. But when you have guys like that who've been at the top, guys who've failed, guys who've made mistakes, guys who've overcome, those are all things you need to be reminded of, because for every person that we're highlighting that's having a great camp, there's someone in camp that's struggling, right? Mentally, trying to figure out where they fit in. But then you have Michael Phelps, who's able to tell you about how he had his journey, his ups and downs, right? Then you have Ray Lewis, how he had his journey, his ups and downs, and they're able to pour into you. It gives you that little spark that you need to push through.
You know, it's crazy. I was out there on Tuesday, and you're looking on the field, and it's probably 3/4 of the Baltimore sports Mount Rushmore out there. I mean, Michael Phelps, 23 Olympic gold medals, most decorated Olympian all time. Ray Lewis, Hall of Famer, best linebacker ever. Lamar Jackson, 2-time MVP, should be 3-time MVP. Don't want to get you started Don't get you started on that. But, I mean, he's done things that we haven't seen at the quarterback position. I mean, it's just incredible when you think of the guys that were on that field on Tuesday.
Yeah, the only question you have to ask is, where's Cal Ripken? You got everyone else there, you know what I mean?
You said Cal?
That's the only other person that's missing. Who do you put over Cal Ripken in Baltimore?
Carmelo Anthony. That'd be my fourth.
No. I love Melo. Cal Ripken, stop it. There's no way we're going to disrespect Cal Ripken. Cal Ripken's name is not only here, but it's on every field, football and basketball, football and baseball basically around the country. Cal Ripken is an icon.
Carmelo Anthony, one of the best basketball players ever. Top 10 scoring, 3 Olympic gold medals. I mean, just...
I can't believe we're having this conversation. We're talking about Cal Ripken, the Iron Man, the guy that played basically his entire life without... Stop it. Stop it. We're going to revisit this. We have to revisit this, but Cal Ripken, you can make the argument that he's on top. I would like to put Lamar up as passing everyone at this point with 3 MVPs, but Cal Ripken, come on, man.
So we agree on the first 3.
Your Twitter DMs, your ex DMs may be out of control after they see this. Not putting Cal Ripken on your Mount Rushmore. I cannot believe this.
All right, let's get to. I mean, we can talk about this a little bit more later, but we clearly disagree. But it's okay.
I can't even look at you the same.
It's okay. Listen, well, Phelps was here. The whole reason he was here is because Marlon Humphrey, sent a message out on social media saying that he wants, him to come to town to help teach some of the guys on the team that don't know how to swim in the new facility. Well, Phelps showed up. Took the guys out to Loyola, actually, and listen, it looked like a pool party, actually. There were some guys like Travis Jones and Roquan actually, getting some swim lessons, so that was cool to see. But, I mean, look at Linderbaum.
Every time I see his, I just lose it. That's hilarious.
How cool is this,
man.
though? I mean, this seemed like more like a team bonding kind of thing, just getting the guys kind of breaking up from the monotony of camp.
Absolutely, you have to. When you're able to go, have fun, laugh at yourself. Right, get a break. Had the opportunity to learn from one of the greatest to ever do it. And alongside of that, there were kids there.
Yeah.
Kids that they were able to impact. They were able to see them and to be able to compete and have fellowship away from football. That's how you really bond as a team. Those moments right there are moments that they'll remember forever. Those kids for sure will remember forever. And it all started by Mr. Bishotti having a brand new pool and the guys doing their own routine, and now
It's supposed to be a recovery pool. The guys
recovery pool, they're over there doing synchronized swimming, and now you have Michael Phelps there. It's a pretty cool situation.
I mean, then I don't know if we had the video. Travis Jones sitting there with all the floaties tied to his leg, and Lamar tweeting that, like, what's Big Trav doing with all I mean, so some cool moments coming from that, too.
Absolutely, yeah. They're definitely going to bully him, but swimming is a life skill, so do not feel bad by starting off with training wheels if you're learning how to swim.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, listen, you won't see these guys out on the field during the preseason. Lamar Jackson and DeAndre Hopkins are two guys that are going to be chilling until Buffalo, but they've been working hard behind the scenes to build their chemistry. D-Hop talks about that when Purple Playbook continues.
The Purple Playbook, brought to you by M&T Bank. And now the winning prognosis, brought to you by LifeBridge Health. Care bravely.
And welcome back to Purple Playbook. We are in the middle of the preseason. Listen, you haven't seen a lot of the starters play, right, John Harbaugh? That's by design. Harbaugh has kept some of those main guys off of the field during these first couple of preseason games. Two guys that you won't see at all this preseason are DeAndre Hopkins and Lamar Jackson. I think that's pretty safe to say. But D-Hop and Lamar have been working really hard behind the scenes at practice to build that chemistry. But here's D-Hop on the most important thing that they've been working on during camp.
Just trust, just trust, and obviously me going out and showing him that he can trust me. With that comes obviously with reps and doing it over and over. And so, really just trust because, sometimes you don't look like you're open, but, it's on the receiver to kind of make you right.
Torrey, you're a guy, you played for a long time, played with a bunch of different quarterbacks. Just how important is that trust, and how tough is it to build that trust if you're not getting game action, game reps?
Yeah, I think it starts in practice. I'm not a person that believes you have to be out there in the preseason to get it done because the saying goes, you practice how you play. And for myself personally, I practice extremely hard. So when I had a chance to go one-on-ones or if I had the opportunity in team period, I'm going to run a route the way like it's a game-winning rep. So therefore, I have a feel for it. And now, even if you're not getting the ball, when the quarterback's going back and he's watching film, he's like, hey, he's there on this, right? He's working hard. He's open. Because there's been plenty of plays throughout my career where you may not have been one or two in the progression at the time on that particular play, but because of how you're running the route and you're consistently winning, now the quarterback knows, hey, I can go to him in this. And not to mention the one-on-ones, right? I remember watching a one-on-one rep just a few weeks ago with DeAndre and Lamar, and the corner was Jair Alexander, actually. He was in his hip pocket. Well, Lamar threw the ball where only he can get it, and DeAndre went up and dunked right on him, took the ball right off the top of his head. So that's how you build a trust, having that safety net, like, hey, it doesn't matter. If they're close and they're even, he's going to win. And DeAndre is that type of player.
But just in practice, you can't really simulate game action, and I think Lamar is the kind of guy that improvises so much, so more so for DeAndre. I mean, he's been around for a long time, he's done this a long time, getting used to that improvisation and what Lamar does, his style. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's something that you can't really replicate in practice.
But he's going to have the most free yards he's ever earned in his entire career. Every time when I see Zay, I'm like, dude, you had to have like 200-300 hidden yards because Lamar's done something crazy, and now you just break away the other way, and now you're wide open, right? And I think you're going to see that. You know, when you talk about with Nuke, the way he goes, you practice scramble drills, and we've all practiced scramble drills with different quarterbacks. There's a scramble drill with different quarterbacks, and there's a scramble drill with Lamar Jackson. I swear it has to be on a different level based on what I'm seeing, just because of how quickly it happens and how he moves. But everyone, it seems like it naturally happens, and I think he'll adjust very well. But there'll be a play or two this year where it's going to be a home run shot simply because he broke off the play, and his veteran savviness will help him get there.
Absolutely. All right, well, Rashad Bateman and Lamar, they have great chemistry. Bate, coming off a career year, spent the offseason working on his route running, and he said that he actually took to YouTube to study one of the greatest wide receivers of all time, Jerry Rice.
If you go to YouTube, it's a highlight tape of him, but it's like very, very old. You gotta look very closely for sure. But you can see, that he was ahead of his time when he was playing. He run routes how a lot of us do today, and there wasn't a lot of guys, doing it back then. So he was definitely the OG in route running for me, for sure.
One thing for you, it's very interesting to me that Bate took to YouTube. You have so many resources, so many different ways to watch tape. What can you really learn from YouTube videos? Feels like just like you don't know what you're watching when you're watching the telecast.
Yeah, for as much as people like to hate on analysts who may not have the qualifications, you have the opportunity to go to YouTube and someone's done a breakdown of how Jerry Rice runs routes or old school highlights or anything training-wise that you're able to see. I had the opportunity to play in San Francisco, so I was able to see Jerry a lot. He actually came out to practice a few times with cleats on, running routes, and actually looked great at his age, which was crazy to see. But when you're able to watch the videos, it does look a little different, the way he was playing compared to everyone else. He was ahead of his game, so the way Jerry played does fit how the receivers play now. I'd say a little less explosive, in my opinion. That's not to be a hater, but I just think the way sports and training and diet and all these things are now, I think athletes are completely different.
Bigger, faster, stronger.
Oh, my gosh. And I think a lot of old school people disagree with that, but I'll argue with you all day. These athletes are better, and they're only getting better. But I think for Jerry, he was ahead of the game, that passing offense. And the route concepts are the same. It's not rocket science. There are a couple of new little wrinkles, but if you're able to watch and run routes like a guy like Jerry and study him, and Bateman was great anyway as a route runner, he added a little bit of those tips to his bag and it helped him out a lot.
Who are some of the guys that you studied?
I loved watching Randy Moss. That was my favorite player. I think Randy Moss is the GOAT, by the way, since we're talking about guys that are excellent at their position, not just simply due to longevity and playing for a long time, by the way. But I do believe that Randy Moss was that guy. I loved how he was able to position his body, use his speed, and I was also a big kick returner coming out. I thought I was going to be a returner when I went to the league, but I loved watching Devin Hester, the way his vision was and how he was able to set guys up. And there's just been a lot of great receivers over the years, but for me, Randy Moss is my GOAT.
Awesome. I love that. So, Randy, you met Randy?
Yeah, I've met Randy, and I still kind of get starstruck a little bit. I can't believe he knows my name. You know what I mean? That's my guy.
It makes sense, though, so much sense, though, with you just being obviously a guy that could fly, and, that was your thing. So.
Yeah, you watch it, right? It's like, you have, while I was able to do some other things, when you watch a guy that's that good at running vertical, and you're like, okay, well, how is he running his digs? How is he getting into the middle of the field? How are people respecting him? That was probably the biggest thing I was able to learn. It was like, hey, if you're doing this, if you're running your route this way and people fear it, because every pass I caught wasn't a go route, right? Like I caught plenty of posts, plenty of digs, plenty of comebacks, plenty of slants, right? My easiest route for me was probably a stop route because everyone was afraid. But I'm able to watch how people were responding to him, who he's way taller than I was and faster than I was. And you just kind of find these little tips to figure out what is he doing late to get open and try to apply some of that to my game.
Awesome. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're talking defense. The saying is iron sharpens iron. So what have these battles between the Ravens defense and offense been like in training camp? Lamar Jackson is going to describe that a little bit when we come back.
The Purple Playbook, brought to you by M&T Bank. And now the bottom line, brought to you by M&T Bank.
And welcome back to Purple Playbook. It feels like when we're talking about the Ravens, especially going through training camp, everyone's talking about the offense, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. Listen, we've been out at camp. We've seen the defense. They've looked really good too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. And this is a team sport.
Yeah.
I remember hearing Marlon talk about early in the year, he wants people to think about the defense when they talk about the Baltimore Ravens. While I don't think that's going to be the case because Lamar Jackson is the quarterback, this team has an opportunity to be very good. And the key to it is going to be the front four. If they're able to get pressure with the guys up front, with the secondary pieces they have, it's crazy sitting here talking to you about this because for years we've been saying, hey, is the secondary good enough? Is it good enough? And I think it has been for the past few. And they've been figuring out ways to make it work. But now this seems like on paper it's the best, and it seems like with my eyes, it's the most complete with depth. So if guys are able to stay healthy, this defense is going to be able to make some noise.
Well, the other thing Marlon said, he wants the defense to force turnovers, and we've heard that all camp. Lamar Jackson actually said that he's noticed that the defensive guys are more ball focused now.
Lamar said something to last week about how we attacking the ball and how the offensive guys have to tuck the ball and put it away. And the offensive guys know that we're attacking it. We're coming forward. So even when they're not looking, even when they think the ball's put away, we're going to punt, we're going to punch, we're going to get 11 hats to the football and do that. So I think we've been more intentional about that as a coaching staff. I think it's been a direct reflection with our players, and they take ownership of it. We've gotten the football pretty much every single day, which is a real good sign.
Before we get to the defense, I do want to point out Zach Orr wearing a hoodie out there, like an actual hoodie, sweating through it. I mean, I understand hiding from the sun, but I mean, some of these guys, what's the deal with the?
He has that mindset that he's still a player right now. You get out there and it's hot, you want to sweat. They feel like they're in the sauna, doing a little something. I was never that guy. I wanted to be as cool as possible because I knew I was going to be dead tired. But a lot of guys, Ray Lewis used to be out there with the hoodie on practicing. And I don't know what they thought it did. To me, I'm a cramper. I couldn't do that. I'd be out there full body cramp if I was to wear a hoodie out there in that heat. Oh, my gosh. I have to take care of yourself.
All right, well, listen, when we go back to the defense and offense, there's all-pro players all over the place on this team. That saying, iron sharpens iron. When you won Super Bowl 47, you guys, you were going up against Ed Reed and Ray Lewis every day in practice. Do you feel like that helped you guys as an offense kind of get better?
Absolutely. Our secondary was very good. We knew if we could block our D-line and Terrell Suggs, who did not take reps off, we knew that we could block anyone, and that's how you truly get better. But also it's a standard you have. With our team, you have Ray Lewis. It's funny. Marlon's talking about, hey, we want people to talk about the defense. Well, for us, it was obviously with Ray Lewis and Ed Reed, they were going to talk about it. It was like, hey, no, our offense, we can play. Y'all just continue to think that we can't for whatever reason because those guys are there. But, history in the playoffs speaks for itself. Offense did their thing. But it's definitely important to challenge each other to make sure that, you're getting the best out of each other. And when you win, it is competitive, right? You're out there, you want to win. You want to win today for sure.
Absolutely. And one of the guys that we've seen on the defensive side really step up and have a good camp is David Ojabo, right? Mm-hmm. This is a guy that's been battling injuries. Just when you look at kind of his trajectory, he's a guy that, first-round guy, obviously has just been dealing with injuries. What do you see about what's the ceiling for David Ojabo, you think?
The ceiling's still huge, right? I think it's about being healthy, number one, and understanding your potential and being a pro. And I think he's done an amazing job of continuing to grow over the years. But right now for him, it is a time crunch situation. He's at a time in his career, each year you get closer to getting paid, it's important that you step your game up. And he's continuing to build trust. He's getting better each and every day. And again, I think he's a guy that can make a huge impact for the team. And when you think about where he was drafted, he has the opportunity to prove, even then, I know it might have been a slower process, but he has the opportunity to prove that he was a steal.
Yeah, well, he's popped on tape in preseason, and he's stood out at training camp. Here's Ojabo and Harbaugh on David Ojabo's preseason.
It's my first true off-season healthy. I feel like myself, feel confident, just kind of letting it rip, man, not thinking about, rehabbing, man. I'm just thinking about football, man. So I feel like I'm doing good, just keep getting better day by day.
Injuries are obviously so tough. Just how tough is it to come back from an injury when, everyone has these expectations for you? You have expectations for yourself. Physically, you haven't been able to do it. Just how tough is it to push through all that?
It's extremely tough, and the biggest part isn't even necessarily physically. It's the mental part. In my mind, I am who I think I am, but my body may not be responding the way I needed to. I actually experienced that, when I broke my leg in high school, those first few games. I'm like, y'all, am I running good? And they're like, yeah, you're looking good. I look at the video, I'm like, no, I'm not, right? This is not who I am. And similar to why I had to retire, I'm looking at myself, I'm like, my body is not moving the same off of this injury. And it does mess with you because you're like, hey, I'm used to being healthy. I'm used to playing a certain way. I'm used to doing this exact same movement and looking completely different than I look right now. And that plays with you mentally. So you have to be able to, when you recover and when you're rehabbing for people that have injuries, the physical aspect is obviously that's what they're doing. But you have to make sure you're protecting your mind as well. And for him to come into this season healthy, All of that to say, confidence is the most important key. And that's what he has, and that's what he has to continue to roll. Because you can't control injuries, but you got to continue to make sure that you're putting in the work and building your confidence.
Great to see him healthy. And Adisa Isaac, another guy that's been battling injuries, out performing well in the preseason as well. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to wrap the show up when we come back. Stay with us. More Purple Playbook after this.
The Purple Playbook, brought to you by M&T Bank. Now back to the Purple Playbook.
And welcome back to Purple Playbook as we wrap this up. It's summertime. Grills are going. Everyone is enjoying their cookouts. You got your grill. You need stuff on the side, right? So Ryan Clark put out this tweet: coleslaw should be outlawed. No reason for it to be a thing. No one's ever shown up to the cookout and asked, "Where's the slaw at?" I actually agree with that, and so do you. Yeah. Call it trash.
Straight trash. Coleslaw doesn't have a place for anything. I try to figure out as an adult, my palate, to make sure I didn't have a palate.
Maybe you're missing something.
Yeah, I used to eat ketchup on everything when I was a kid. So I was like, you know what, maybe it was a childish thing. It's like, I don't do that anymore. And then coleslaw, I'm like, I didn't like it when I was a kid, so I tried it in high school. Then I tried it in college. And then I got to the league, and I actually could get, nice meals a little bit. And then they say, hey, you got to have this barbecue with this coleslaw. And I'm like, you just messed up my barbecue with this coleslaw. Coleslaw is just trash. It doesn't belong anywhere.
Well,
I don't know why.
Well, there's someone that disagrees with you.
Who?
Marlon Humphrey, of course. I mean,
I didn't even see that.
He loves coleslaw.
I didn't even see that. That makes perfect sense. So whatever is right or logical, Marlon Humphrey is going to be on the side that doesn't make sense. That I've noticed that about food takes. Marlon and Dan Orlowski. Those two have the worst food takes in the entire country.
That's funny. All right, well, that'll do it for this week's Purple Playbook. For Torrey, I'm Alex. We do the show every week. Listen, regular season, we still got 3 weeks, but we're getting there. We're getting there. All right, thanks for watching. We'll be back.